Welcome back, sports gamers. It's the Natural. Got some more eSports Boxing Club goodness for you guys. Fresh off the presses at E3, and they show some gameplay. Developers talk a little about the gameplay and the features. A lot of things we've already seen before. We already featured on the channel, but we do have some new things that they sneak in there, as well as release date and around the area of that. So let's get right into the trailer. Then afterwards, I'll get into a breakdown with you guys.
The first women's division ever represented in a video game, and the hottest new talent. But what about the game? Let's take a closer look at the next-gen visuals and gameplay that are set to make ESBC the greatest of all time.
It's good. It's definitely one for the grandkids and stuff to say, like your old granddad was in a game and busting people up. So it's going to be quite cool.
So the movement system in ESBC is all about fluidity, being able to create angles, recreating mannerisms from boxes. The physics system doesn't just rely on animation. This allows us to recreate realistic knockdowns. Even when a fighter's unsteady on their feet, it's not purely animation based. Now we've had professional boxers, professional coaches come into the studio and provide input through motion capture and actually reviewing the game during its development. And now we really feel like we've created a true representation of the sport. Presentation is important to us. Just because we are in the studio, we're still going to aim high when it comes to production values.
eSports Boxing Club coming to PC and all major consoles with early access in 2021.
Alright, so let's take a look at the trailer. There was some things in there that we haven't seen before, and a lot of things that we already have. We know that this is the face scans, and this is how they do a full body scan. It's similar to what NBA 2K does. Madden does the face scans and just kind of builds it using the like body builds or melds that they have, and they just do the face. But like 2K, they're doing the full body scan, and that's how they've got some motion in there, and then you can see how the face scan looks. Once they kind of import that, it looks kind of creepy, but then they put that onto a model and shape, and you can kind of see the detail, and that looks really good. And you can see on this one the lighting effects that they have, kind of bouncing off the skin there, and you can see the shadow. It's just probably one of the most detailed models that we've seen in games today. See a little bit of jaggies there on the back of the head a little bit, but once that's zoomed out, you're playing the game, you're not pretty much going to see that. Next one, they see Josh Taylor, Arturo Gatti in a clinch there. One thing people haven't talked about a lot is the backgrounds, because you just can't have the guys in the ring, right? You got to have some background guys. See the cameraman, the guy in the corner, got another guy watching there, and just how that looks as well. On to the next one, they're showing the guys in their quarter in between rounds. You can see round one recovery. Interesting to see, is there any type of mini game they're gonna have associated with this? That do you do anything, tap any buttons or whatever it is in between rounds to recover your fighter quicker? You see, then you see another one kind of got the cut there, a cut in the nose. I think that could be a little bit better, but all this is a work in progress. So I think is what they're showing so far looks good, especially in the eyes, man. That's one of the toughest things for games to get down really well is the eyes, reflections in the eyes. We've done a good job so far. So moving on to movement in the gameplay, and this is this one we've already seen previously. And you can see the good movement of the fighters. We've already seen this in the previous gameplay trailer that they had, but also you have to remember that there is another gameplay trailer coming. This isn't, I don't believe this is the main one. They're still working on one that's going to come in after this, so we'll get a chance to see more gameplay. You kind of see the little duck there, and then they did it so quickly. They flashed in Joe Frazier in there. Looks really good. And one thing I really like, and people haven't talked about a lot, is getting the skin tones right, because a lot of times games don't get those skin tones right, and a guy just looks too light and pale or too too dark or too ashy. And I've seen some games where they don't get the skin tones right, but they've done a really good job. And you can see the differences in the skin tones between guys, which in real life, there's millions of shades of skin tones that people have. So they're talking about the physics and the gameplay. We do see this is new here. We haven't seen this before. Joe Joyce and Johnny Nelson, and he's kind of looking like he's a little wobbled a little bit, like he's taking a mean shot. His legs is a little weak there. Then you see the hook from Joe Frazier on Rocky Marciano, knocking out the mouthpiece. At the same time, they're showing the fall. It was almost like a little ragdoll effect, and people love the ragdoll. I mean, if it's done right, it's good, but I've seen so many times where it's not done right. And you actually see I've always done look good, but you see a kind of a bad example of one of them. That one looked nice. He just goes straight back to the canvas. But there was one where, yeah, he kind of like droops on the ropes, and his arm looks a little twisted and weird. That one looked a little janky. But, there's stuff like that. This is alpha footage, so they can work all that stuff out. But that's the only one that looked a little janky, but all the other ones looked really good. Another one where the guy's just floored. And his leg bends, the right leg bends back. Ooh, that's tough, but that's really cool if they can nail those knockout animations. Dudes does like a walk-off knockout. He drops him and just walks off. Looks good. So on to the realistic combat gameplay. This is one we've seen similar this footage before, but it looks good. You can see the size of the fighters. Eddie Hall's massive, got his tattoos all accurate. Yeah, it's interesting how they're gonna do the skill level of the boxers. Somebody like Eddie Hall, who's not an accomplished boxer, does he have top punching power but poor footwork or a poor chin, or how they're gonna rate them? It's gonna be interesting to see as we go on. But definitely you can see between these two boxers here, they definitely have their own style and stances. It's just very different. I love how they move around the ring, and this is something new here. They flashed this Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward exchange here. That's something new. Big swinging left hook there that misses. He's able to dunk underneath and counter punch. I love this Joe Frazier one coming out. To see all the detail in his face, and even did a good job in his corner man of security behind him. Got his even the corner man or the security guy got some tattoos on his neck. See that mean grimace on his look, and how the sweat. It's not even how the light reflects off the sweat. How all that just looks realistic, man. Just the lighting in this game, the face model. I mean, this looks dead on. Like, what sports game has better graphics than this right now? I don't see it. I've seen people in the comments say the game doesn't look good, and I'm like, you guys need get your eyes checked, because this game looks amazing. There's a lot of things you can talk about the gameplay. A lot of people are saying the punching could be faster, and again, like I'm pausing and slowing this down, and all things can be improved upon, right? But as far as the graphics, the look of these guys, like I can't imagine a better player model. So just how accurate and all the a lot of the sweat and the lighting is in this one. But this is more about gameplay, and they're taking throwing some big hooks, lunging punches, side of the head, and he missed on that one. Nice exchanges, and you can see the kind of damage there on Joe Frazier's face. Got the bloody eye. So on to the presentation, and they're talking about, pause it here, quick fight, and they got a store, new fighters available. That's another thing that's been talked about a lot. DLC, you're gonna have a lot of fighters that are gonna be DLC. Most are gonna come with the game, but they're gonna have some will be DLC guys. I think that's how they get that. Well, not I think that's definitely how they're getting a lot of guys to sign. They're saying, hey, you give a portion of the funds there, and we can sign you to the game. So I'm definitely not going to hate on that. I think that's a great business model. If that's how they're getting guys in the game that we want in the game, we want to see. There's still a lot of people, not a lot. There's some boxers that aren't in the game. If they're getting them in the game by doing that, by DLC, by doing this profit sharing, hey, I'm all for it. Like, you don't have to buy it. It's optional, But if you want to play with somebody who's probably not going to be in the game, or they might sign in as DLC, if you want to play with them, you pay the money. If you don't care about that fighter, just use the fighters that are available. It's pretty simple. So they got continued career here and create. I've already kind of went through the creator boxer building out. I mean, that's just the graphics in this game are amazing, but the fact that you can create your own fighter and it almost looks as good as the scan guys, that's pretty amazing. So they have a news eSports League kicking off there, and then to the right, events, Canelo fight there. So they got the choose existing boxer and the create a boxer. So they already have some pre-made guys, and then they have the different boxing federations, the WBC, World Boxing Organization, all that. On to Joe Joyce versus Joe Frazier. You see the tail of the tape here. WBC heavyweight title bout. You know, you see the height and the weight and all that, and the reach, and typically what you would see prior to your game. We're just showing some presentation, and at the end they actually show a little cover. Is this the final cover? Not sure, but they do show early PC access in 2021, so coming later this year on Windows. Of course, we're gonna have that, and then later on next gen and current gen console. So you know, people asking when's it coming out. It's coming out on PC later this year. We don't have an exact release date yet, but we will have that, and coming later on all the consoles. So if you guys don't have a PC now, run out there and get that PC if you want to play this game ahead of time, because that's when it's coming out first on early access. And then, you know, console folks will have to wait, but of course we're gonna have it on pretty much every platform. We definitely support the developers, support this game. I'm really excited about to bring boxing back to us, back to sports games. So definitely gonna support those guys, and so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Really appreciate you guys staying around to the end of the video. If you do appreciate all of our hard work and our content, drop a like, subscribe. We got news, tips, and gameplay from all your favorite sports games. We want to take your gameplay to the next level. Join SGO Insider today.